know the West Coast is back. You know the West Coast, West Coast, West Coast. You know the West Coast, West Coast, West Coast. You know the West Coast, West Coast, West Coast. You know the West Coast, West Coast is back. You know the West Coast, West Coast, West Coast. You know the West Coast, West Coast, West Coast. You know the West Coast, West Coast, West Coast. You know the West Coast, West Coast is back. You know the West Coast, West Coast, West Coast. You know the West Coast, West Coast, West Coast. You know the West Coast, West Coast, West Coast. You know the West Coast, West Coast is back. You know the West Coast is back. You know the West Coast,
Switchy.
back, 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 West Coast, back, back, West Coast is back, 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 back. You know the West Coast is back, 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 West Coast, back, back, West Coast is back, 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 back. You know the West Coast is back. You know the West Coast, West Coast, West Coast. You know the West Coast, West Coast, West Coast. You know the West Coast, West Coast, West Coast. You know the West Coast, West Coast is back. You know the West Coast, West Coast, West Coast. You know the West Coast, West Coast, West Coast. You know the West Coast, West Coast, West Coast. You know the West Coast, West Coast is back. You know the West Coast, West Coast, West Coast. You know the West Coast, West Coast, West Coast. You know the West Coast, West Coast, West Coast. You know the West Coast, West Coast is back. You know the West Coast, West Coast, West Coast. You know the West Coast, West Coast, West Coast. You know the West Coast, West Coast, West Coast. You know the West Coast, West Coast is back. You know the West Coast is back. You know the West Coast,
Switchy.
back, 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 West Coast, back, back, West Coast is back, 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 back. You know the West Coast is back, 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 West Coast, back, back, West Coast is back, 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 back. You know the West Coast is back. You know the West Coast, West Coast, West Coast. You know the West Coast, West Coast, West Coast. You know the West Coast, West Coast, West Coast. You know the West Coast, West Coast is back. You know the West Coast, West Coast, West Coast. You know the West Coast, West Coast, West Coast. You know the West Coast, West Coast, West Coast. You know the West Coast, West Coast is back.
Good morning, or whatever it is, wherever you are. I saw a bunch of changes going in yesterday, and I kind of predicted that some of them would be conflicts. It looks like this might have actually been Jason properly fixing this in a better way than I did. All right, so that should be good. We still need to finish shuffling our files around. All of our development settings. Now, I guess I fixed the patch conflicts, and then if I didn't have to look at it in more detail, then I go back and check for anything else of interest. Okay, so it's just these two. So what is this is autoclick stuff? Oh. Hmm. Okay, so he's not doing this as a full-on... Yeah, he's not using this in other ways that you could use this to distinguish automatic clicks. I forget where I was doing that. There was something... There was some other flag that was sometimes forced ground click. Well, okay, I guess it's not quite forced ground click, but auto clicks that happen are generally forced ground click. Oh, so his isn't going to apply to roads. Was it auto click? Is auto click. Okay, so that's the final click of a actual mouse held run. Well, auto clicking into bad biome from good. This is in compute path. All right, so this is, I know I finally just kind of, yeah, refactored a bunch of this. Run is mouse held or auto run. If it's not mouse held, check for road. Oh, now you see, my logic is going to, well, actually roads are allowable the way it worked out. So that might be okay. actually, I don't think this is a conflict in the sense that this code changed. It's that we both added a line here. And those might have been the kind of the same blank line. Make sure that compiles. Oh, this file doesn't exist yet. Okay, I did not name my things. Okay, and I'm actually the allowed race for this. I go in here. Oh, no, it's disabled because of... all right. Oh, this was auto run. Which seems to be working okay. And this was bad biome. The client won't know if bad biomes are on. Okay, so this is an allowed biome for me. This would not be an allowed biome for me. Hmm. The client aware of that. Or aware of the low populations. Maybe that's something the server sends? Magenta! How's it going? What are you working on today? Okay, so I'm not restricted from going in here. And I think this is a mouse hold. Rift. Rift World? I don't know Rift. Alright, so is bad biome... How do we know bad biome in... Oh, this is a server message, so it's not gonna... Ah, okay. So it's not gonna send it to me if the mechanic isn't in play. Probably. Is that the actual string? No, it's BB. Oh, link 3 message. Or maybe it's an empty list then. So what is WR, war report? Okay, nothing in the report, war report. EE. Player emote. That's probably for the permanent emotes. None. Okay, so yes, we got an empty list of bad biomes. I would have to change the biome restriction setting on the server to see any interaction. Shut that down. Let's see what the setting is. Inactive players for special biomes. No chance of misspelling that at all. Inactive player. All right, let's see. We get a B. I certainly look like I might be uncomfortable there. Okay, so now auto run. It doesn't look very good, but yeah, doesn't do that. All right, so now my auto run. Probably fine. It looks now. This is where that position thing is something that isn't in his client, and so he would not have seen that when testing this, which makes me wonder if this is actually the source of that flippy flippy. Now I did it specifically because of, okay, well that was an actual click click. Just auto running. Actually getting it going here. Okay. So that's actually the source of, huh. Okay. So it must be like trying to approach its current position somehow. Or he's added something else to take care of that? Let's see, I did this prevent a situation where extended the click and then it used old end position to say, oh, we're done running. Okay, so here's another problem with this. We assume our end pause is out here, but this thing can now veto that and say, don't go there. So I really would have to be like looking at our movement list here and like actually figuring out what our next step is. Next step. You see, there's normally a bunch of adjustment that we do when we first look this up. So it's like almost like we just have to abort. This is like in a giant function. Current speed not equal to 0. At the desk not equal to null. Could we actually calculate a null path to dest and then not come back to process ended movement? I may have to wait and see exactly what problem this causes. It's definitely the cause of the flippy. It's a right patch. Oh, yeah. All right. Well, that didn't get very far. Right, he did the updates for permanent emotes. This might actually be animationbank.h. The C merged fine. Probably we just added a header function and... Yep. Now you see, if I could add animations in a compatible way, I could actually do... Well... These things are more effects than animation. You might be able to use that system to do similar things. Oh, this did multiple... Well, oh, because we have to do this in exactly the same positions that I have to do all of my extra stuff. And this is where I might actually have to turn the bad biomes off so I can go into those places and look at the effects. This is as much of a compile check at this point. Definitely shivering. I don't know if there's a desert around here. I think there's jungle and Arctic, so probably not as much. Interact with that. Inhospitable jungle. Oh, you have too much hair to be able to see that. Well, I can sort of see it hiding. I haven't actually looked at how he implemented that. It might be the sort of virtual object holding, because you see the little bend in the arms that I think is you see when you have like a fever or something. Well, that breaks all the time. Yep. I just added some debugging. I was trying to figure out some of these weird situations. All right, we've gotten past patch conflicts. Now, is there anything else I should be attending to? Okay, server. This is all the sprite loading stuff, which is going to be good. You think the Pi mod causes that. Sprite loading, sprite loading, sprite loading. Unknown object. Actually, that's something I should possibly. Oh, I need to do a data update for the map too. But I won't need that until the next stuff gets processed, which it might not get processed. There's the CPP. Map preceding. Maybe that comes along later. Server. The client changed the role at the end. Object bank. Biome rec and biome block. Permanent emotes. So this starts out living life page. Permanent emote. Oh, this might actually be one problem with overwriting thing. Because he probably had to update stuff with what duration. Okay, that's general. Motion objects. Yeah, that seems like that might be a bit bigger. And then emotion words, and then I don't think in emotion keys, I just had to have spaces there, so it's not really a problem right now. But emotion objects, emotion words. Settings files do occasionally get actual updates. Now, okay, so, oh, didn't really have murder face on there either. Do I need to... And I'm not going to have keys for them. Ammonia, biome relief. Hmm. Maybe he hasn't fully implemented the content for these yet, because I wasn't really noticing effects there. Okay, so it went from a single thing to an array, pretty much. Yeah, so if I added emotes, they have indexes, which would kind of conflict with updates. So I don't know if that's a practical way to do things. Okay, so it looks like he went ahead with polylingual. Server settings, client gets the bad biomes. Oh, we never had display names before. Scorching desert. Oh, it's not always inhospitable. Scorching, inhospitable, and frigid. Hydration. Hydration. Long paths. Is bad biome, auto click. Not start biome bad. Okay, so I think that's all that actually affects us on the merge stuff. We are fully built? Not fully built. Oh, there's actually a sound effect for this one. Oh yeah, there's a little bit of body color there too. Catching a cold. So you're actually at home here. I don't have any desert hand. Wait. Oh, these settings don't. Oh, you know, I was probably testing something there. Don't have this one on. And that's implemented. Actually, that's something to check. Well, I mean, you can send commands for it. It won't do anything. Yeah, so you get the we're holding something, but we're not. Okay. All right, so trying to figure out tools. I'm trying to figure out the burn rate. I think I might want to. I think burn rate could maybe be touched up and get a setting, and that could be shippable. Although speaking of shipping, I should checkpoint these. To resolve conflicts. All right, I don't know if burn rate is necessarily a thing that has to be turned off, but I could still see people saying I don't want that. Well, nobody uses my mod, so maybe that one doesn't need an option. It could still use some positioning fixes though. All right, I have to actually get hungry though. So, well, or eat something. And it's very small because the usage rate is very small because server. So this stuff, so the other text is already kind of right at the bottom. And The food boxes are on a graph paper grid. So if you move them, they're probably not going to look good. Where else can I put that? I could move the other text up slightly. And it's at a point where it looks good. I could try moving the food meter down a little bit. It might still kind of look like it lines up with the boxes. Uh, Draw burn rate line. So it's going to be somewhere around here. There's the dashed line. Hunger max fill line. There's the yum string. Arrow sprite. Is it like hunger boxes? Hunger fill sprite. X. So I guess the first thing to establish is, does it have any like the background built into it? So we move it a lot and see how that looks. Okay, there's nothing particularly built into the background on it. It just doesn't look as good when it's not lined up with the grid. I'm probably gonna have to turn up hunger here so I can actually see the bar. So this was 34. Let's try 36. Okay, so that gets a little bit more space here. It depends on the box a little bit, but that doesn't look too far off the grid. You don't get the... Well, it does say with pneumonia, but doesn't actually apply the emote. Okay, the bottom is actually becoming more of an issue than the top here. How some of these fit. Let's see if that gives us, if this gives us enough wiggle room. Okay, so that's a mark. Burn 317. Okay, so while I'm there, I can't. Still hasn't dropped my food meter though. All right. I guess I'm gonna have to. Oh, and you're actually at home in here. Okay. I need a longer. Okay, so that's better with respect to the text. It's a little bit close. Boxes. But it's at a kind of a balanced position between them. Now what I forgot to do, unfortunately I think this is the top patch, yeah. So now what I think I want to do is like think and float. And patches deeper, how much deeper? Push patches to the top. I need to go one step either way. Below target patch. Okay, so that one I think is in publishable state. The readme. That shows approximate pip per minute drain. And approximate is mostly just because the dashes of a certain size. Edit, patches, master. Changelog. Or not. Okay, apparently that was a modified file still. Now I did do some bug fix only updates, I think. Yeah, so we're currently at 36. And I started doing capital V's. And I have a note about that. So I don't actually have change control on individual patch level. Yeah, I think it was more recent that I put that back. I mean, like, don't stop moving in some situations. All right, now, no. They actually are on show launch tools. We get this thing into shape. I have notes for this. Ginger again. It might be interesting if the Eve spawning code, like, guaranteed that landed on a certain tile, then you would be appropriate to that tile. I had a bunch of tools somewhere. That's one of them. So I already did the shovel thing. You... Oh, no, I switched. Alright, learn shovel. And we've got 4 slots left. Oh, I had some positioning things I wanted to fix up. So did I have a... I know I was looking at the new Newcomen, but I think a kiln would be an easier test case, because that was definitely not looking good. And... I'll need some Adobe anyway. Right, so I have to oh, okay, so at this point now I need... Because we just want to be able to test stuff. Oh, interesting. Is that abusable? No, because you'd have to somehow cancel your movement. There's an object in here. Nope. Anyway. I probably chopped most of the branches in here, and then they probably grown. You're not a tool, you're a tool. Yeah, so that's the one of the ones that doesn't look so good. I need to be in my draw code, I think. That's initializer. All right, so I was offsetting everything by this random factor. Or as arbitrary factor. I think I might need to do is move the drawing position, or the base drawing position. I should probably also tweak it to just like always show tools. No. I save? Looks saved. Was that better or worse? And I want to set this up. Okay, so we've got a... Why did I have untrue? Was I copying something else? Maybe or. There's pause and there's target. I don't actually have the out position as a thing. Hide offset. Yeah, target is set to hide or to up as needed. So maybe we do that. Well, I still have to get the tool information from the server. Oh, no, I think I get learned tools. It's the tools remaining that's. Okay, well, picking up a tool is easy. Yeah, okay, so with no center offset, you're really low, you're too high. That's not completely inaccurate for how they sit in the tile. Not completely. Although I thought the center off, well, I have the center offset factor completely washed out right now. Okay, that is better, and I think this is where now I need to move everything down. This is originally aligned for text sitting at the top of this thing. Got, I mean, or I could make these all a little bit smaller and some things just start going off the top. So our base, we'll pause, less screen view center. Yeah, I'm not sure we do any adjustments beyond the slip itself. Oh, there's a known object. Oh, all the individual sprites in it. Tool pause. Tool pause is okay. Screen view center. And actually, that's more of a tool pause dot y. These things were 64 in total. But, is that plus or minus? Might be minus. Oh, no, wait, there's the slip. I need to do this afterwards. Okay. That's probably a little bit too much. I don't entirely follow where the draw locations are. Like if things were all drawn at center. I'm also wondering if maybe I could afford to make my scale a little bit larger. I'm already doing 100. And that's full on double size for what we've got available. I guess most objects are just a little bit smaller. Or 128 double size. That's not a tool. Hmm. You actually need a tank. Oh no, actually this thing is a tool. It's also like super big. I sort of need to be able to fire that thing. I can take the water out, I can use the water. I might want to move my help key. Oh, because we're in talk. Cycle first. Or oh. Water is going to be interesting. Can you take these apart? Yes. I didn't get a good look at how this looked different than before. No, it's 3 steps to run all of these things. You probably didn't go to broken state. And this is not a fire. Oh, so every time I toggle VOG mode, I get new tools list. Okay, well that's good to know. And it sort of makes sense that VOG part doesn't have restrictions. But now I know under what circumstances that can actually happen. That's not actually going to be usable. Oop. Oh, destroyed my basket. Ah, and the VOG bug. I don't know why you can't immediately act after that. And I can't even see it because of all the VOG stuff. They're just wet. Okay, so the pump isn't a tool. Must have been this then. Actually, I do have some charcoal up there. Okay, so this thing is... Now this thing's way the heck off. And that's what I was using before when I was like, do I need to do it like a half? So there's something I don't understand about the positioning of stuff here. Because it seems very, very weird how this places out. Seems to me like object center should be object center. But clearly it's not object center. Yeah, then I see the axe is low, this is fine. I mean, like, this thing actually kind of sits high in its tile. Versus an axe or a basket or... Like, these things are moving back towards their more extreme positions. And it doesn't seem like this should be any taller than the firing kiln. So why are you different? Is it something weird because it's an animated thing? I mean, this is sort of animated too. we've got center offset. That's our baseline, which works well for everything else. This works well for other objects. Then we get that. Okay, so how does that look if, well, if 0.5 helped, that's going to help more, right? So there's center. The sprites all get drawn around the sort of sprite base position. Yeah, so that feels like, okay, so there is, you can sort of tell like the center line, the baseline, and the floor level of a tile there somewhere. Oh, okay. Well, no, oh, but what is the center offset from? Hmm. Yeah, what is a center offset from? That's my color code. Held in hand. Get object center offset held object. Oh. Isn't the same as held offset. At center. That's the center of rotation for tools, and for tools that can be the handle. Oh no, that is rotating the center offset itself around the base of the coordinate system? And he's actually multiplying it by 2? Subtracting the center offset times 2. That seems like it would go the wrong direction. But that's interesting. It's apparently off the... Yeah, that's like overshooting. But it works for tools for some reason. Well, it's actually quite nice for this. Oh, maybe that's only properly set for tools? That's why I wasn't using held offset. I only expect that to be set for tool. Okay. So we've got X. 334. We've got firing and Newcomen 4. 2271. Held offset. So you've got a held offset because you're holdable. Clothing offset must be a default value. Center? No, center's auto-calculated. Maybe center offset is just within the sprite? Okay, so sprite ID, individual pause. The sprite ID, individual pause. I guess the Adobe... Adobe... So this is the thing that counts as a tool. 282. Yeah, held offset 0. So that's not going to be necessarily useful. Bright pause, bright pause. Some things have rotations. And firing Newcomen bore 2271. Held offset, clothing offset. Right, pause, pause, pause. I know, I almost have to be able to see it with all the parts highlighted. I mean, it sits kind of high in the tile, so it makes sense that all the Y's are larger numbers. Although none of them seem to be low at all. Oh, there's one. Maybe I need to use height instead of. Hmm. There is like a get height. It's just scale is just based on max diameter. Yeah, you know what? I'm adjusting the center offset, not the visual. Object height. Might just be height above baseline. The problem is I don't have like a feature of this that I can say, oh, it's a tall object, it's a short object. I mean, it's a pretty tall object, but I don't think it's that much larger than the town. Yeah, I mean, with the smoke, this is, if anything, bigger. And they sit at about the same level. Maybe center offsets get calculated differently because this is like all animation effects. Well, even this doesn't seem quite right. So if we do less of the center offset, you move up, you move down, you move up. To get this thing looking right, I had to do less of the center offset. I mean, maybe object height is it? Estimated height of object. Yeah, see, this is only from cell center. And it's a thing we can use. Get object height. Visual sprites. Oh, you're the object? Okay. M toolbox tool I. Now this might be a 0.5 or something. But this is only height above center, which I guess that means it won't affect the axes and things as much. Uh, um, okay, so you're actually going to be... So tall objects need to move down. No, wait. The lathe is going too far down. And the kiln could go farther down. Yet they seem to be about the same height. Oh yeah, completely off. Max wasn't bothered. So for a centering effect, might need at least that. Might have to be plus. Seems like that's having as much of an effect on the kiln. But maybe center isn't the right question to be asking. Yeah, that actually fixes this up nicely, but throws that way off. Oh, maybe it was center offset times 2 because that was like the full size of the graphic. Oh, maybe center offset isn't the type of center offset I think it is. Max diameter, object height, closest object part. What the index is. Wait. Or was that the... No, I was looking at bounds before. Somewhat inaccurate, but good enough. The center of centers. There's a bunch of long objects. I mean, from how I understand how that's composed, oh, there might be a bunch more objects at the top, though. Compute held drop. Oh, that's a compute? Held object. Holding pause, in pause. That uses. That's the final position. So one tech did actual object bounds, but it did that by looking at pixels that were set in the final output image. In holding pause is a very special holding pause structure. Not a person, and offset by center. Held offset. Object held offset, which isn't set for a lot of these things. Now this is height above center line. I think. Sprite. H above max height. Pos.y plus negative if anchor above top pixel. Right, hip map. Oh, don't count transparent sprites. So that's probably is affecting the smoke on the. Is this in fact what's used for the cache height? Fix height. Yes, which is only above the bar, above the center line. Which I haven't found a good use for yet. I kind of like need some way to visualize the object centers. I do that. Where are we? Held object, writable object. Floor hugging pass. Looks like it's floor stuff. The held. Flying objects on top of objects in row, but still behind walls in row. Permanent non-container wall objects. Wall layer. Pained. Holding. What's the standard object layer? Or maybe I could just do it in draw object anim. Got an object, right? Well, I've got an object ID. That's enough to get there. All right, that would be animation bank. Do you do draw object not anim as part of this? If there's no animation record. So I'm mainly concerned with things that do have animation records, but the basic bore is probably pretty similar. There's a thing that draws a grid. Nope. Correct. Set draw color. Blah, 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 blah. Try behind slots. All the indexes. Add on top of everything else. So many overrides here, it's hard to tell what's what. Venom head pause. Okay, so let's start off with just, well, I guess -2 still applies. So we actually want a box. Start off with the basic position, see if that doesn't work. So that presumably comes from what? Pills? Okay, I'm not seeing boxes on anything. Oh, no, wait. Okay, I need something a little more visible. Okay, so in pause is center of tile. That's the baseline for that. I wonder if this actually affects my tool stuff. That's record the original start time, huh? So I need to learn something. Okay. I'm apparently not using draw object here, which is probably more suitable for what I'm doing. Okay, so that is that position. I want to get uh get object center offset and object record in object. And hey, how about we actually use that? What's this clothing pause originally? Oh yeah, this thing's center pause is whacked. I don't even know how to approach that. Right, we saw all those like minus hundreds. We're looking at the objects, and some things are down there. I mean, this is a complex object. There's stone, all the parts of this. Adjusted hold position, I presume. The opposite of the hold. Maybe I need. Now you see, I was thinking, well, maybe I need to subtract it, but these little objects all have reasonable center position. I might need to do a custom function on the order of height. That looks at, I mean, just the sprite position. And I can probably figure out how height is used relative to that from the getHeight function. About like looking at all the pixels. But yeah, no wonder those are different. That's bonkers. Okay. Okay. So I guess for my purposes, what I need is a better object center. So he's going through like a bunch of hitmap stuff. So this is the index within sprite rec center anchor offset. Okay, if it's transparent, then it's just that right. That's the extent in sprite height. So why do things that are not transparent use a center anchor Y offset, and things that are transparent just do height? In sprite pause, center anchor Y offset. Sprite thing. So yeah, so really all I need is pause Y plus and minus height divided by 2. We get our bounds. And then from the center of the bounds, we get the visual center of the object. In sprite pause. Oh, this is just sprites and positions. It's not like an object thing. Sprites, in sprite pause. Object sprites, object sprite pause. So this isn't going to be quite as expensive because we're not doing pixel analysis. we've got max diameter. Maybe I see max diameter. Get sprite record. Oh, hit sprites have, well, there's a max D record. But yeah. But we actually care about this a little bit. In terms of which in which. Absolute pause. But that goes in both directions from the pause. So yeah, maximum extent. Yeah. This may actually be close. Going to be a double pair. Object is fine. So it was get object center offset. All right, we need a yeah. While processing, we need min x, max x, min y, max y. Not sure that's the way we want to represent that, but okay. And from sprite bank, looks like it's just width and height. Surely we have to refer to a right somewhere here, right? Radius divided by 2. So this is only concerned. Right, radius divided by that. its maximum dimensions. This is going to be more like each sprite is going to have a left f-abs. That's just our radial. Left is minus. No. Here plus. Top is spars y plus width height. Bottom is minus. Okay, so this is where this gets divided. And we're not counting extent. I'm not sure that should be doubled. That's, I don't really like what the dimension offset is, but that center offset is whacked. Actually, find center of... Well, that explains it. Pump beam kit is the widest thing. I mean, center of centers probably would have performed better there. All right, and then we have to do... So these actually aren't good starting points. Minimum of x. We have cell D here? Don't. Okay. I mean, properly, these are often like max hint, but that should give us somewhat reasonable results. So if left is less than in x equals left. If right is greater than xx, right. If top is greater than max x, max y, max y equals top if bottom less than ny, y equals bottom. And when we're all done, double pair equals so we expect the max to be positive and the min to be negative. Maybe this is actually like plus all of them divided by 2? Yeah, because that'll give you a net offset. B? Something's moved around. Okay. Okay. Get object center offset. And we think we don't want height. Never Okay, we've got some badly misbalanced brackets here or something. Object bank.h, got our semicolon. Okay, oh, it doesn't like something here. Oh, okay, because you're doubles, you're ints. So maybe we just don't Laurent here. Oh, I didn't notice all the sprites in the character before. Oh. I need to be able to draw this to get an evaluation of how well it works. I mean, I could just convert it back to double to get rid of the error. And an object bank. Well, we already know that these are bonkers. Yeah, this is apparently using a similar thing to this. There's like a bunch of extra transparency on the side of this or something. Now the centers of these types of things are reasonable enough. Now you're a new Eve. Can I just... No, because you're bouncing apparently. Right? Okay. Ah. Maybe with that I can actually take out that little bit of extra stuff I did. Yeah, the axe is feeling a little bit low too. How does the kiln look? Oh, I overwrote my basket. I might actually had one. It's not a fire though. Something's showing up here. Not quite sure what. And it'll be there. You know what's happened? For some reason. You're also looking too low. Oh, that didn't skip the transparent sprite. Hmm. The funny thing is we're actually iterating the sprites here anyway. In order to do a super simplified draw routine. Where did I bump this? I might want to put in the skip transparent on. But for a really tall object, this is probably about right. And now I'm getting a little bit by how I set it to be a really big thing. So which routine was that? All right, I probably don't need these anymore. Get object height. Recompute object height. Don't count transparent sprites. Now, if you were only transparent sprites, maybe I should still put the center in there. Well, I guess if you've got the smoke going off the top, that could still be a bit of a problem. Okay, so that actually helps this nicely. And then for like your sort of standard tools, no. That's standard tool, so it'll work. That'll look pretty good. Okay, so that's for development. That's to make it bigger. Some code we copied, and all the tools complain about unnecessary space. Return holding position. We did leave an extra space there. Okay, we are on. That is something useful. Now, I'm still not super happy with the screen layout. I've been thinking that maybe I should just accept occasionally getting covered over by system messages and put it up top. Now I guess well, okay. I guess there's also just the straight up like sides of the screen. There's going to be less height than width. And we know, well, what's our spacing? It's like we have a lot of this stuff taken up, but there's more of it. Like some of the hunger bars and things. I guess full takes up some space. I guess the hint sheets don't get too much bigger on that side. But I mean, just looking at this, I don't think you'd fit all of this stuff. I'm thinking that, barring the little announcements, you could just, well, I guess it was trying to keep within this sort of interface where you're used to looking for like yum and when you pick up, because yum shows up here when you pick up a yum thing, so it's kind of riffing off of that. But there's just so much space taken up down here by all the other stuff. So it works for 5 to 10, but you're really limited. And if we weren't using the tabs, which do give you a nice empty slot indicator, Of course, I could probably fit like twice as many if I just went straight across the top. Now, another question. Those things, what do their bottoms look like? I mean, maybe there's a V-flip. Target offset. Yes, those do not have pretty bottoms. That is a parameter to draw sprite for H-flip. Oh, you're not even in here. I guess I was kind of looking at. No, you're minor gems. All right, so reusing that particular piece of art on the top. Possibly doing a solid box anyway, similar to. All right, so there is a height limit on this. Or a width. So I'm going to have to go get the flip the slips back so that there's really only one. Want to be fancy, we could do two so they swap. Maybe four so you get all the variation. Drawing the tools themselves will be pretty similar. Maybe we can put them a little bit closer together. Going off the top won't be too big a deal because it'll be at the top of the screen. Going off the bottom. But more things go off the top. All right, and then, well, to make it actually publishable, this probably does need a flag. So we kind of get left Yeah, so... Oh, I didn't do erasure on this yet. Well, it becomes better that way. Uh, how easy is erasure? Okay. No biggie. All right, so I based this off of some other draw. Draw max fill line, multiplicative blend, longest erased dash line once. Set draw color 111, 111 true. What's the difference? For the longest one, oh, you actually do have fade. I thought he said, the other thing said draw it once, but okay. Last 8 string. Draw hunger max fill line. Now this seems to indicate it's one of these parameters that has something to do with it. Oh, the bar. Oh, skip dashes. Okay. He's drawing all the lines. Longest erase dash once. Okay. But this looks to me like these are the same parameters we use for the full draw. One 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 true. 111 true. 111 true. So what's the difference between the full on line? Wait a minute. Skip dashes. Don't skip dashes. Skip dashes. So he's not actually, he's not drawing erasure on that. Unless there's some other draw parameter that's affecting the alpha blenders. Of course, you have to wait for hunger to tick down now. If we're working on this thing, I might need to go back to fast hunger. Especially if I'm doing erasure. Well, I guess my erasures. That will also guess wider variation. Oop. Oh yeah, because we were forever. You need to eat something. Just not going to very much here, actually. As you're sort of still getting past your first cycle. No, it is. But does the draw on skip dashes draw the erased version? It just returns. Is he drawing them directly somewhere? Oh, dash erased sprites. So when do you use those? Oh, okay. Bar sprites, dash erased, dash erased. Dash sprites. Oh, no, wait. No, okay. How did I miss? False means don't skip. But this, assuming I copied this for burn rate, this... We'll just have to track the maximum amount we've ever done. Current 8 fill max. Current last 8 fill max. No, that's dash. Shortest fill. So it starts off huge. Does that as we go through all the old... So this does sort of age out. Oh, and it's drawn in dimensions. So a fully proper erasure system would have to go from the farthest left to the farthest. Which I do have to have something akin to some the size of these. Oh, because that would actually be in H. No. Oh, maybe it's a dynamic array? Oh, okay. So fades them all out, and then eventually. After it gets faded enough, it. All right, so actually doing that is going to be a bigger project. Yep, I saw that. The map published. It's kind of hard to find things, so it's all spread out now. You might have to kind of do some different selections on lives and look around where they were. The amount of tiles covered makes me think I'm going to have to take a while before we get new maps, changing the data format. I didn't see that in the change logs. Jeez, already. So since last time, well, that would probably be a change to map. I know he made some changes for the seed. That's just the seed. That's the map logs. I looked at that already. Yeah, the tattoos was a little bit of a surprise. But I've definitely been seeing a little bit of the sickness in my testing. Now it's I think I've only seen like a real effect in the Arctic, and I think I might have a ginger right now. Oh, she's dead. Yeah, so you get it's especially visible on this race. I think it's supposed to be like goosebumps or something. And yeah, there's not any special effect for this one. And I don't think I have a desert around here. But yeah, that's your uncomfortable state. Oh no, it's yeah. The sicknesses are just to block you from doing anything, pretty much. So I can't have snowball fights. Oh, and apparently this is pneumonia. I wasn't completely sure what all the assignments are. I'm assuming heat stroke is the desert. Oh no, this is heat stroke. Yeah, I forget what the other one was. Yeah, so I haven't actually looked at the implementation. I assume you're like holding some sort of dummy object. And I had hunger up because of... All right, so I didn't actually make any changes there. I don't think, yeah. So I'm going to run with that to keep on testing it. I still don't like the tool position. And then, yeah, I did not notice anything in the change logs that was specifically like spread out biomes. Eve spawns are going to be a little bit closer. It actually reminds me I need to push that grid change. So it's appropriate for the stuff happening now. So where's all my testing stuff? Yeah, so I've got the positions a little bit more straightened out. I had to write some of my own measurement stuff. This is like cramped and it overwrites this stuff. Actually, I didn't even notice this earlier. So I'm trying to think if like maybe I should put it up top or like maybe use gold balls for empty slots or... Oh, and actually I've got some debugging on this right now, so it's showing all of them all the time. Instead of the actual number of empty slots, which would be 4, I think, right now. Normally it only shows up when you pick up a tool. I tweaked that so I could see it easier. Not the only 116 there. By a lot. Okay, he likes that number. Oh no, it was the +6, not the amount. 160 was me moving it up so I could see the bottoms. Now I still want to work on that so it works more like Yum and less like hints, because the hints will kind of hang around for a while. Oh yeah, and hunger's on. Yeah, so, and I haven't learned any tools yet to get the number left. Because the only way I can get that is from the little text announcement up here. Is there anything easy to learn here? Yeah, so now it actually knows how many slots I have. And if I want to work it so it's more like Yum, where putting down a tool will make it disappear, but I have to work that out. Yeah, somebody else mentioned that as a feature request. So maybe you have a miniature version similar to Yum Multiplier that's Total Tools or something. Because right now you do... I mean, yeah. I guess the Yum Multiplier stays there, so it would be kind of comparable to that. Anyway, I'm still testing things out. I think I have some of the visual positioning stuff fixed. But I'll have to see how it works against all the other objects. And yeah, there's still a whole bunch of stuff to take care of. I mean, I guess if there's sufficient interest, I could put it out as work in progress. But I'm Kinda not satisfied right now. I do need to do a conflict update, and I think burn rate. I kind of want to add a erased thing to it, but it's good enough. Okay, so that's already pushed. Actually, I do need to do a little bit of prep there. I think I already did changelog and readme. Oh, I accidentally. Well, it won't commit until I add it, so that's kind of okay. Wait. Oh no, I already committed the patch conflicts. Oh no, yeah, I did add this. That's why I changed everything. And then it's gonna be 37. All right, so I can get a compatible version posted for the forums in a little bit. But meanwhile, I want to eat lunch so I can get in there and see how this stuff is actually playing out. Thanks for watching. Thanks to TJ for bringing some friends and everybody else who hosted me. What do we got going on? This is about when I'm usually on. It's like coding in the mornings and then gaming in the afternoon. Today's gonna be 1 hour, 1 life. Do we have any other coding right now? I probably need to. Meaning. Let's see. So that's probably about over. About over. It seems like lots of people wrap up around this. All right. Well, other thing I'm doing lately is I see somebody doing that at least. Looking for someplace cool to hang out. I don't know how new or experienced he is. But Heinemann is playing Noida, and that's somebody I've enjoyed watching in the past. If you're looking for someplace cool to hang out, that's someplace cool to hang out. Thanks for hanging out with me. Goodbye and